back in the days of black and white. Model cars, boats, trains and aircraft are the most popular in the world of models. The owners check their cars in the pits. They are single-cylinder, air-cooled 10cc. A thin cable attached to a centre pivot keeps the cars on the circular track at speed. And a good way of starting is to attach a notched rod to the back of the car and give it a quick push along the track, because the wheels are connected to the engine at all times. There's no clutch, so a short run down the track fires the engine. To stop the car, the owner holds out a cloth that trips the ignition switch as the car passes by. These little engines have an engine speed of over 15,000 revs, and speeds of the car of over 100 miles an hour are quite possible. This may be nearly 70 years ago, but a cup of tea always calms the nerves. And now we move on to trains, and we're at Bekonscot, UK. Now this layout is an O-gauge layout, and it was first put into action in 1929, and at the time it is one of the biggest and best model layouts in the country. Let's see what they have for us. With the new electrical signalling operation, they can now run 2 or 3 trains at the same time. Now, some modelers prefer steam, and on this 7-inch gauge railway, 20 passengers can be carried at the same time. Of all models, the yacht is the most graceful and realistic. and its success lies solely in the hands of the operator and his skills. In yacht races, they were run with two operators, one person being on the far bank to retrieve the yacht. He would retrieve the yacht, turn it round, reset it and send it back, as there was no radio control in operation in these days. At the far end of the pond, the yachts are retrimmed for the return trip. A collision means disqualification for that race, and you'll have to wait to the next one. Sailing with the wind makes for a thrilling race. Model aircraft in the early 50s were the newest of all the hobbies and regarded as a young man's hobby. Most of the models were driven by tiny petrol engines. In the 50s, operating model boats or model aircraft always drew large crowds. Some of the early larger aircraft had radio control, which the sets had to be adjusted before each takeoff. I always remember my early days in the 50s, and my first really serious aircraft was the Killcraft Junior 60. Lord Tedder, Marshal of the Royal Air Force, and his wife present a cup to the winner.